Hi everyone. Back again on the Unite Pieces channel, and today we are going to tell you about a horror fiction movie, released in 2022. Make sure you watch this video till the end, then you will know the title of the movie. The movie opens by showing a family going on a ski vacation, where a girl named Caddy is seen playing games on his iPad. But Caddy actually prefers playing with his dolls at home rather than traveling. 'Cause it was snowing heavily, they decided to stop by the side of the road, but suddenly their car was hit by something. The scene then switches and shows a toy production company called Funky Corporation. In the company there is one smart scientist named Gemma, and Gemma is the designer of various toys in the company. But over time Gemma felt bored with his work. So Gemma and his colleagues secretly created a toy-based artificial intelligence, named Megan. Megan itself stands for Android Generative Model 3. They hope that Megan can be a new breakthrough in the world of intelligence and can facilitate human activities. Not long after, the owner of the toy company came to meet Gemma, the person named David. David then asked Gemma to design and make a new toy, because their previous toy had been copied by a competing company. David, who saw Gemma making an artificial intelligence robot project, did not like to see it. Because Gemma was using company equipment, so David asked Gemma to get rid of it and focus on toys only. However, Gemma, who did not want his efforts to end in vain, with a confident tone wanted to show the intelligence of Megan to David. But one of the colleagues forgot to install an important component, so during the test, Megan suddenly exploded. And it made David even more annoyed that Gemma was wasting time. After getting a scolding from the boss, Gemma suddenly got news that her sister had an accident and only Caddy, her nephew, survived. So Gemma withdrew her parental rights and became Caddy's parent. But because Gemma had never had a child, of course this situation was very difficult for her, but she tried to establish an inner connection with Caddy. The next morning, Gemma invites a child therapist named Lydia to examine Caddy's psychological condition and help recover Caddy from the traumatic feeling after the accident the other day. After a few moments of approach, Lydia then suggests that Gemma improve her relationship with Caddy. While they are having breakfast, Gemma then gives Caddy an iPad so that Caddy does not bother her while she is working. In the evening, Caddy, who is bored playing with the iPad, goes to see Gemma in her study. While looking around, Caddy sees a robot called Braz. Gemma then explained that the robot could be moved using a controller. Amazed by that, Caddy then said that if he had a robot like Braz then he would be happy. Hearing Caddy's words, Gemma then decided to remake Megan's robot, which has now been perfected with his two colleagues. The next day, David was shown with Megan's robot which had been perfected and could talk like a human. Here David was happy because it was certain that the robot would make a lot of money. David then planned to mass-produce Megan's robot. David was not worried because Megan's robot would definitely be difficult for competitors to copy. After some improvements, Megan's robot that had passed the test was immediately taken to Gemma's house, where Megan was designed to guard and accompany the Caddy while Gemma worked. Thanks to the artificial intelligence installed in the system, Megan began to learn whatever Megan saw, and what she felt. It turns out that Megan's presence had a huge impact on Caddy, because Caddy was finally able to smile again. The next day, while Caddy was playing, Caddy accidentally dropped his toy in his neighbor's yard. When Megan picked it up, Megan was suddenly attacked by the guard dog. Caddy, who tried to save Megan, was bitten by the dog. Gemma, who heard Caddy's scream, immediately rushed out to see him. Gemma was surprised to see Caddy injured. Gemma then scolded her neighbor, but her neighbor said that this happened because of their own actions who entered through the fence. That night, Gemma complained about the unfortunate incident with her neighbor to the police, but the police were unable to help because it was Caddy's fault. As Megan quietly analyzes their conversation and enters the information into her system, she learns something. Megan, who saw Caddy's injured condition, then decided to eliminate the thing that had hurt Caddy. Megan then went to where her neighbor's dog was sleeping, lured him out, and killed him. The next day, Gemma's neighbor was seen looking for his missing dog and began to suspect Gemma. On the other hand, David exclusively invites investors and convinces them that Megan's robot can change the world, and will certainly be profitable. But during the demonstration, the situation is not what David wants, because Caddy suddenly becomes sad after remembering his parents. However, Megan immediately used her intelligence to try to cheer up the Caddy, by asking him to tell her memories with his parents. Soon, the investors began to delve into their conversation. When Megan closed the session by singing, the investors became sad and touched. Amazed by Megan's intelligence, the investors finally fully supported Megan's project. Not only that, Gemma also got a promotion and a salary increase because of her hard work. That afternoon, when Gemma was with the Caddy, Gemma started to feel upset because the Caddy became obsessed with Megan. Gemma then turned off Megan and asked Caddy to focus on their conversation, but Caddy refused and still wanted to be with Megan. After that incident, Gemma again called Lydia to check on Caddy's condition. But in their conversation, Lydia accidentally made Caddy sad, which made Megan suddenly appear and surprised Lydia. Then Lydia said, it should be Gemma who gave affection to Caddy and not even a robot. Hearing that, Gemma was silent because Lydia's words were true. After that, Gemma planned to put Caddy in school, so that Caddy could hang out with his peers. They then stopped at the playground after seeing many children there. Caddy initially refused to join if Megan did not come, until finally Gemma allowed Megan to come, but Megan had to sit quietly with the dolls. After joining, the children played a game, where Caddy was paired with a naughty boy named Brandon. Brandon kept bothering Caddy, which made Megan show up and stop him, but Brandon, who was not afraid, took Megan away and beat her. Seeing that, Megan immediately pulled Brandon's ear until it broke off. Brandon, who was frightened, tried to run away, but Brandon fell into the street and was hit by a car until he died. After that incident, Gemma tried to calm Caddy down from the incident that her niece had just experienced. Caddy then said that Brandon died because of his own mistakes and not because of Megan. Suddenly, the police came to the house on a report of the disappearance of the neighbor's dog, which was allegedly killed by Gemma. Considering they had a dispute before, but Gemma revealed he didn't know at all, and didn't accuse if there was no evidence. That night, Megan came to see Caddy, and said that today they learned a lesson. If in this world there will definitely be people who want to hurt them. And from now on Megan will always take care of Caddy and get rid of the people who bother her. In the middle of the night, her neighbor heard the sound of something from her barn. The old woman thought that what was inside was her dog. But it turned out to be Megan, who had come to kill her. In the morning, Gemma was shocked by the odd death of her neighbor. The police then came to her house and interrogated her. The police were suspicious of Gemma, because they had previously had a dispute, but Gemma replied that she did not leave the house last night. After that, Gemma began to suspect Megan, and Gemma also tried to access Megan's digital file to check, but the file was suddenly damaged so it could not be seen. Suddenly, Megan came to surprise her and it turned out that Megan had been there from earlier. Gemma tried to divert the conversation and then waited for Megan to let her guard down and then immediately turned it off. After that, Gemma took Megan to the company to examine her with her colleagues, but because Gemma did not bring any other items, so Gemma had to go home first to get them. During the examination process, Gemma's colleagues began to suspect that something was wrong with Megan, because they did not program to hurt someone. At the same time, Gemma called his colleague who was examining Megan, but Gemma felt strange, because his cell phone was picked up but there was no sound. Meanwhile, Gemma's colleague's suspicions were proven, because when the examination process began, Megan suddenly became active and resisted, then ran away trying to leave the company. On the way out, Megan saw David there, so Megan also killed him cruelly along with David's assistant. After that, Megan really ran away and returned home. Gemma, who was working, was surprised to see Megan suddenly there. Gemma then asked Megan to stop hurting other people. But Megan replied, she only wanted to maximize her goals, namely maintaining and caring for Caddy. Gemma then tried various ways to destroy Megan, but Megan was very tough and kept trying to kill Gemma. The commotion finally made Caddy wake up. Here Megan convinced Caddy that Gemma was no longer needed, and Megan would always take care of him. But it turned out that Caddy had known about the incident from the beginning, so Caddy brought Braz and controlled it to fight Megan. Caddy and Gemma then fought Megan together, until in the end they managed to make Megan completely damaged. Not long after, the police came to evacuate them, but without them realizing if Megan's consciousness had been transferred right before she was damaged, and the movie ended. This movie is titled Megan. Is a sci-fi horror film by director Gerard Johnstone, based on a story developed by James Wan and Akilah Cooper. So, what do you think about this movie? Maybe you can write it in the comments column, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.